Hey y'all, Jim here with Sunrise Farm. Welcome back to another video. Thanks so much for stopping by today. In today's video, we're going to be making some farm changes and improvements. We're going to be creating a growing area, and we're going to be putting down, right in front of me is a brand new silage tarp. So we're going to be putting this down. First time I've ever had one, so I'm excited to roll this thing out and create what we're going to have as an okra plot, or at least it's going to be mostly okra at any rate. This silage tarp is 50 feet long, or excuse me, 50 feet wide by 100 feet long, and it's rather a beast. It's rather heavy to pick up. So hopefully, unrolling it and laying it out's not going to be too difficult by myself, but we're fixing to find out. So stay tuned. We're getting ready to put down a big old silage tarp. So it might be hard to see in the shot, but if you can see that line right there, that's a string line that I ran this morning. Today is Wednesday, January 8th. It's after lunch and the sun is out and gorgeous, and it is absolutely beautiful out this afternoon. It was 24 degrees this morning. It's currently probably about 45, but that 24 was a little brutal. At any rate, you can see that string line goes all the way to my wood line there, down my driveway, and comes back, and you can't see it in this angle as much because of the sun. There's a post right there that string is tied to, and so I've made a straight line from one end to the other. That is going to be what constitutes my fence line, because I'll be running fence down that way and putting deer fence up in the next few months. And so when you see this tarp, this tarp is going to unroll 100 feet that way, and then it'll come over 50 feet into the center of the yard. Over there on my tractor, I have the bucket full of a few cinder blocks for the corners and a whole bunch of bricks to weigh this thing down. And so let's go ahead and get started with her. I must say, although that didn't take very long, that gives you quite the cardio workout by yourself. Highly recommend 2 or more people. However, as you can clearly see, you can do it by yourself. So the last thing to do is, well, not the last thing, but the next thing to do is to get it situated precisely where I want it according to my fence line. I've actually got it a little too close to the house. I didn't realize that. It's within my dog's uh, electronic leash range, and I don't want to have that because she'll get on it and she'll want to chew on it and stuff like that. So I need to move it out that way. So that'll be the next task, is to get it oriented just the way I wanted, and then get it secured down with blocks and bricks. All right, let's keep going. Well, all right, folks, let's take a quick walk around. That took more than just a minute, let me tell you. As you can see, we have her down, and she is pretty secure and pretty fanned out. You see my string line a little better now that some shades come over this side. I'm about 5 feet off of this string line, what will be the fence, and that's about where I wanted it. This will be under the fence, and over here will be covered with um, weed fabric. That's a big boy. 50 by 100. That's 5,000 square feet of growing space right there. So it's a little windy outside, and if you give me just a minute to put my stuff up, we'll go inside my shop and talk for a minute. That way I know I can control the wind. So I'll be back in 1 second. All right, folks, so let's wrap this video up and talk about a few things. In case you didn't know, I didn't address it in the beginning, but in case you happen to not know what a silage tarp is, silage is the general term used for animal feed, hay, what have you, that needs to be covered and protected from the sun, from deterioration, even rain. And so typically that silage tarp you saw, it has two sides. It has a white side and a black side. So typically if you put it on feed, you'd put the white side up because the white side reflects sun, and it would keep the silage, or the feed, if you will, dry and relatively cool, keep it from spoiling as fast. However, in our farming world, to set up new plots and to kill ground, obviously you saw it put the black side up. With the black side up, it 100% blocks out the sun. It doesn't allow water underneath, and it lets very little air in, other than where obviously I have some gaps in the brick and stuff. But for the most part, it blocks everything out that weeds and grass needs to grow, or vegetation in general needs to grow. So therefore, it'll kill it. Now, it does take some time. I also should stop here a minute and say that I bought this silage tarp from Farmer's Friend, and that's farmersfriend.com, I believe. And this is the second thing I've bought from them. And I've been eyeballing them for about a year now, because this is where I have done some research, and when you compare price and some other factors, I'm going to end up getting my high tunnels from them. We have a grant in for this year. We'll see if we can get one under a grant. Either way, going forward, as I'm able to afford them or get grants for them, whichever comes first. We're going to put at least 3 out there, hopefully 4. So anyway, it comes from Farmer's Friend, and per their recommendation, they tell you to wet the ground first, because this will also dry out the ground. Obviously, no water can get in there, and or do it right after a rain. Well, today is Wednesday, January 8th, like I mentioned in the beginning. And so Monday, it rained pretty decently here. And so I couldn't do it yesterday, but today, obviously, I'm putting it out there, and the ground's still nice and moist, damp. And so you can, through the course of time, now generally they will say a minimum of 3 weeks, up to 6 weeks. And most of that depends on the time of season you're doing this. The hotter it is, the quicker the stuff dies. So I've got it on my calendar to check it in 3 weeks and see where we're at. And if I need to, I'll water it and then cover it back up for another 2 to 3 weeks, whatever it takes. That's why I'm doing it so early in the season, so that I can have this plot prepped for when we plant okra in basically the first part of April. And when it comes to the 3-week mark, I'll probably wait till it's going to rain, and then I'll check it, say a day before it's going to rain. I'll just pull it back, and if it's good to go, I may pull it off. I doubt it will be. It's been very cold down here in the south right now. I'm sure it's very cold all over the east and northeast, and even in the Midwest some, with this Arctic blast we're going through. But so when I check it in 3 weeks, I'll probably just let it rain and then come back after it rains and cover it again for another couple of weeks, just to make sure. At this moment, I'm not in a time crunch to get it on, or to get it off rather, excuse me. Till I need to prep it, for April 1st. So I basically need to pull it off sometime in March so I can prep the ground. But so that's one of the reasons we're doing that. It was a bit of a bear doing it by myself. I will confess that. But for anybody out there that's used to doing things by yourself, you just figure it out and keep going. As far as all the bricks, when we bought our property 4 years ago, our house is bricked in, and I guess they had about a half pallet of brick left over, and they just left it here on the property. So, hey, to my benefit. And that's where I got all the bricks from. They were already here. I didn't buy all of those. And then I had some slabs of walkway uh, concrete pads, I guess you would say, landscape pads. And so I just popped them in half, and that's what I laid in the middle to keep that down. After I was looking at it, I figured it was too big not to put something in the middle, so I definitely put that in the middle. So clearly, you can see how you can use bricks if you got them. You can buy sandbags from Farmer's Friend to do that, and then just buy sand to fill them. You can just go buy, you know, $3 to $4 bags of sand, whatever playground sand from a box store, and put those down. There's so many things. You can have old tires if you happen to have them around. You can put them down. It doesn't matter, just to hold it down properly. So I think that I mainly covered all the points. Yeah. So if you got any questions or thoughts, please let me know. That entire plot right now, our thinking is that entire plot won't be okra. It'd be about 2/3 to 3/4 okra, about a couple thousand okra plants, and not entirely sure what we're going to do with the remainder part. Um, some talk maybe growing some watermelon or something like that, but we'll see. We'll deal with that first things first. It's an okra plot. That's its main goal. Um, so yeah. So I just wanted to thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. And if I could humbly ask, closing in rapidly, I think at the start of this video, I needed 25 subscribers to go. So maybe you could be one of those for me. So if you would like, subscribe, and share this video, and hit the bell notification to get notified anytime I do videos, which I at least I'm trying to do one a week. It's very difficult sometimes, just between weather and things you got to get done, and timing and life and whatever. So, but I enjoy doing them. I feel like I've gotten so many amazing comments, and I even spoke to a few people in person that have watched my videos, and it's just, I feel like I'm developing a community and a friendship, and I just want to thank you so much for that. Y'all are truly a tremendous blessing to me, to my family here on the farm. I know you don't see them much, but that'll change this year. Um, in fact, most of my family is taking time off right around the 1st of April, last week of March. So we're going to do a family planting to kind of get this farm boosted this year. So that's going to be a blessing. And yeah, I just thank you so much again for watching these videos and sharing your thoughts with me. And please continue to do that. I try to read every single comment, so I can't thank you enough. Take care. God bless you. We'll see you very soon. Have an amazing day in the Lord.